Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I am trying to pull this up on my laptop so that I can see how straight or crooked I am. And here we go. It takes just a little bit. And I am a little bit crooked. So let's just see if we can fix that. I'm so excited to bring these two cards for you today. They're number 8 in my series of silly old bear cards. I haven't been on the last 2 days. Wednesday I got busy and forgot. And yesterday I had an eye doctor appointment, so my eyes were dilated and I knew I couldn't make a card when I couldn't see very well. So I just waited for today, and tomorrow will be day 9 of the cards, and that will be the last of them. I'll have 3 tomorrow. This will be my last 3. So there's 15 altogether, because at first I started just doing 1 at a time, and that was only taking like 15 minutes or something, so I decided to do 2. That way, I wouldn't spread them out over such a long time. So if you're here and you're watching, if you could comment, that would be great. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing, what the weather is, where you live. And even if you're watching the replay on YouTube or on my blog, Nana Stampin' Room, I always go back and look at my comments, so that would be great if you could comment. I always like to hear different ideas. So today we're going to make these 2 cards. I want to say this one might be my favorite. It says the best kind of days are the days spent together, and then it's just all the characters from the Pooh family. And on the inside it says thank you, and with the Pooh sitting down here with his jar of honey. And I used the Sweet Words and Labels stamp, and then I used Nested Essentials for that rectangle die, and then on the inside I used lovely arrangement for the thank you. And this one is from, the words are from the Sweet Words and Labels, and the inside is from Lily of the Valley. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check my notes here. The card is number 12. Yes. Lily of the Valley. So, I love the font in that happy birthday. So let's get started today. I'm going to put this, needs to be in here where I will use it. So we'll start with this one. I'll put the other one over here on the side. And we'll see what we have for this one. We have a Early Espresso card base. And we have a very vanilla inside. And then again, I did the same thing I've been doing for the sky that I did before. I used the swirly embossing folder, and we're going to highlight it with some white. Just because, look, at the cloud paper is behind all these characters, and I just can't see cutting a strip of it for sky, and I'll be missing out on all the different characters I could cut out. So I just came up, and then this is the grass. I put it through the embossing folder with the plaster. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, or splatter paint embossing folder, just to give it some texture, so it doesn't just look so plain sitting there. And I'm going to tear this. Again, you're not really even going to be able to see this line because of all the characters, but I like to do it anyway just in case. It'll peek through a little bit. And then we're going to get our white ink here with our sponge dauber. We're going to add some, this is the bow. I don't want to lose that for sure. So I'm just going to dab this in here. Let me move this over here so I can kind of be in the middle. And I'm just going to rub some white. I like to go this way on it. I don't know. I don't know if that really makes a difference. But that's the way I've been doing it, so it kind of looks like clouds going across. And I don't want to make it all be white. I just want to add some highlights here and there to make it look like a nice, sunny, partly cloudy day. So, now we can glue these two to our card front. And that will help us with getting rid of some things so we don't have so many pieces laying around. I did remember to put the lid on my glue, so that's one good thing. Otherwise it would have been 2 whole days. I'm sure it really would have, the tip really would have been hard to, I should have did the hydrangea hue first. These are pretty fast cards to put together. Nothing really fancy about them, no fun folds or anything, but I just think they're so cute with the characters. Let me add my grass down here. And there we go. So this is what I did in order to get my, and it's misses just by a tad over here, but in order to get these the same length, because when you put them through the embossing folder, it might stretch them just a little bit when it puts the impressions in there. So first I ran them through the embossing folder and then I cut them at 5 1/4. And this one, it was really different. So I added a strip here. You can't really even tell that I added that strip because I had much more hanging out and it was bothering me. So let's see what should go next. Next we should probably stamp our label, which I did not cut out my label. And now this is probably going to take me forever to find mine. I think it's Nested Essentials. I'm hoping it is. Just a second, I'm finding some vanilla paper. I have scraps of vanilla paper. So let me see. I think I have everything that I've used for these 15 cards sitting here in a stack. So hopefully I can find it. I know it's not textured notes or stylish shapes. Let's just see if there's a stylish shape one here I could use. Here you think you have everything planned. I've had this class sitting here since Wednesday when I was going to do it. And I never thought about, no. All right, let me just check somewhere else. All right. Well, perhaps I'm just going to stamp it and I'll have to cut it out later and add it later. Because I do not see those dies right now. I do have this big stack sitting here. But perhaps I put those away. Or put them somewhere. Let me look one more time. No, I don't have it right here. So I'm just going to stamp it, and I will just cut it out in a rectangle with my cutter, just so we can get moving. And I'm sure as soon as it's over, I'm going to look over and it's going to be sitting right there. It's just when I'm looking for something, I can't find it. So the best kind of days are spent together. Here is the stamp for that. Oh, the days are kind of light there. So I'm going to try it again. There, that looks better. And I will just get my cutter here, and we'll cut a rectangle. Oh, I got that really close. Doesn't look quite as cute as the other one, but at least I'll have it cut out to make this card. So this is going to go right here. I'm not going to glue it down because after the video I am going to find my Nest Essentials and cut out the right rectangle for it, but I don't want to waste time looking for it now. So we're just going to kind of lay it here as a place to mark the place. And so now we'll do all the animals that are in the background, which on this side is rabbit, because some I popped up and some I did not. So we're going to get rabbit glued down. Now when I did this card, I laid it all out before I put them down, but now that I have this card to look at, I can kind of do them without first laying them out. And then this is Candace, she's on the other side. And she's glued down. Be sure that her tail fits on there. So next we have Eeyore. He goes over here and he's popped up. So let me get my dimensionals. I'm using the large dimensionals for Eeyore because he is a big enough one that you can use the large ones. And we'll pick them off with the pick a tool. Maybe. Okay. Now he's stuck to my finger. And we're going to put him with his nose kind of touching the words, the greeting. But see, I'm going to be able to glue this down later when I change it because Bat and Pooh are popped up. So next on this side is Pooh, and he's popped up. And we're going to pop him right up next to this sign. And then we have Owl, who's popped up. This one, it just takes a little while to get all your dimensionals on them. But it comes out so cute. Oops, almost put him hanging upside down. So he's going to go right here. And then I have Piglet here with his dandelion. And he's going to get the small ones because he's not quite as wide as the other ones. I could probably fit a large one in there, but it's easier to get the small ones. I don't have to be as precise exactly where I'm going to put them. Okay, so we'll take off the tops. I should use the picker tool. Okay, and he's going to go right here in front of Owl and next to Pooh. Then the only one we have left for out here is Tigger, and he's popped up. And he can use the larger dimension. Oh, there, I just switched him onto the floor. Sorry about that, Tigger. Okay, so he's going to go right here. Now see, I still can take out this sign and I can put it back in after I get it cut out with the right die. Somehow I got this paper. I didn't even notice that before that I got the dimensional paper stuck there in front of Pooh. Okay, so this will still go here. And again, I use clear embossing powder for these jars because I think it just adds a little bit to them. And I'm going to use a small dimensional for the jar. You always have to have a jar of honey if Pooh's involved. Okay, now for the inside. So what do we do for the inside? We stamp thank you and hydrangea hue. So let me reopen it. And I have this bow here which I would put on the bottom of my label after I get it recut out. So let's stamp thank you, which again comes from the Lovely Arrangements stamp set. I have them all sitting on top of each other back here. And we're going to kind of put it a little bit higher at the top because we're going to have the Pooh in the corner and stuff, so you have room to write your message and sign your name. So there we go with that. Now we should be done with this stamp pad, so we'll put it over here so it's not in our way. And we will find our last jar of honey and our last Pooh, and we'll glue them down here on the inside. Now this Pooh was like right on the edge of the paper, so it cut a little bit off his back when I cut him out, but since he's sitting on the very edge of the paper here, it's not as noticeable. And then we'll give him his jar of honey. And we're finished with card number 1. I'm just going to put these back together. Now I'm thinking if I have some of my character paper left over, and I want to, I could make envelope flaps with it, because that would look cute coming in the mail, wouldn't it? But I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for the envelopes. Maybe just stamp a Pooh on the back. Or maybe just the jars of honey across the back. So the next card is this one. And again, I have to change. This one's going to be horizontal where this one is vertical because I had to use a different picture. because I already used that one, the second one I had of that one on a different card. So we have Mossy Meadow, because that's the color that's around the trim here around the picture. So I switched to Mossy Meadow from Early Espresso. Looking for my bone folder, and it's laying right there in front of me. I just like to get these creased first. So this is a honeycomb embossing folder that's retired. We've had it for a while. But if you wanted to, there is a die in the set that will cut out, but now I don't see it. I cut it out and it makes these little holes, and then I used my sponge dauber to kind of make a honeycomb markings on the back if you wanted to use that instead of the, if you didn't have the honeycomb embossing folder. So it just makes the little holes, and I just went over it with my sponge dauber. It's such a little piece that when I was cleaning up, it might have accidentally got thrown away because it was such a little piece. But it just cuts out these little holes, and then you could sponge some honeycomb in the background. Be sure that I don't have it stuck in here anywhere. Alright, so this is what I did for the honeycombs. I took my Early Espresso ink, I used the sponge dauber, and I put it on the side where the lines around, like this, the middles are popped up. On this side, it's the lines that are popped up. So I did it on this to try to just catch a little bit of those lines. And it doesn't have to be the same shade. Like I really got dark there because I forgot to start off again like I always tell myself I'm going to. So I'm just going to kind of darken this side up a little bit so it looks more uniform. But you could do it less ink. You could use crumb cake, which would give you a lighter color. It wouldn't be as dramatic as the Early Espresso. And you really don't have to worry about the middle too much because you're going to have your picture there in the middle. So let's just see how that looks when I put this in the middle. Okay, I kind of got that corner a little bit darker. So I might just add a little bit more to this side. But it just gives you that honeycomb look. And I'm going to close this ink. And I'm going to set my ink pad over this so I don't accidentally get that on my hands. I guess I could go ahead and wash it off with an alcohol pad. I get these little alcohol pads. I was trying to reach for them. And they just clean up little spots on my glass mat so quickly. They're very convenient for that. Like if I get a little bit of glue, I could use one of these and wipe it off. So there we go, all clean. And it dries really quick. So you're going to tell me I did not even make a thing for my You Deserve a Little Treat? Must have been falling down on the job of my cutting out yesterday. Or Tuesday. But I know I have the die to cut that out. Because I saw it when I was going through these dies laying here. It's the Sweet Words one. Look, this is the stack I have of different stamp sets and dies that I've used to do these 15 cards. And they've just been laying here on my desk since I made them so that I didn't have to keep getting them back out. Let me go cut this really quickly. Sorry about that. I must have stopped in the middle of my prep. Okay, here we go. That one we had ready. And what did we use? We used Early Espresso ink, and we used You Deserve a Little Treat, which is not on a stamp. I must have really messed up this one because I don't even have the... Yes, I do. Here it is. Oh, I might not be organized today. I am usually a little bit better organized. So we're going to see if we can get this straight in the middle. And we did not. I got it way down at the bottom. Oh, but that would kind of work because the jars are going to be at the top. So I'm going to try to get it a little bit straighter. I do need to kind of go towards the bottom because I want to put the jars on top of it. There we go. That's much straighter. Okay, so we got that done. As long as we have that out, let's stamp the inside. And I have that ready. I have the happy birthday right here. And on this one, I stamped the jars on the inside rather than cut them out just so I could use the stamps. And then they have these little bees that are flying around the jars, which I think is so cute. So, I got some extra Early Espresso on my block. We're just going to put this down here. Now, if you wanted to, you could go through and color these in, but I just kind of left them vanilla because it looks pretty cute down there. Okay, so now we are ready to put on some ribbon, and then we will be ready to glue. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to find our ribbon, which I almost used up all of this ribbon from doing these cards. It's a retired ribbon. It's basic beige and pecan pie, but it goes so well with the color scheme that I've just been using it. That way I have room to get some new ribbon. And we're going to make it be kind of halfway across. So we know this is 4 inches tall, so we kind of want to put it at the 2-inch mark. That's another reason why I like my glass mat, because you have a ruler right there, or a grid. Every time, you know, look, I say this every time. When I close the ink pad, I get ink on that nail. It's just however I close it, I must touch it every time. Not with the new ones, I will not have that problem. Can you believe that tomorrow is July the 4th already? It seems like we've been talking about July the 4th for a long time. And our soccer team is doing so great. I don't even really watch professional soccer. I do watch soccer games when my grandkids are playing soccer. But I've never really gotten into the official team. But it's pretty fun. want to be sure and rub this really good because of the texture on the cardstock. Otherwise, sometimes it doesn't want to stick down. It wants to peel up when you go to peel up the... Now, the other side did it so easy. This side is being contrary. There we go. So we'll take our ribbon and we'll start it right here and we'll go over this way, keeping it straight on the honeycombs, and then stick it down there. Use our ribbon scissors. I have some tape waiting in the wings. I have to tell you, the other day, Wednesday, I was using my curling iron and I dropped it and I tried to catch it and instead it hit my arm. So now it was hot. So now I have a burn on my arm. So crazy. I should have just let it go ahead and hit the floor. Okay, so now we're going to glue this down. The next series I'm going to do is with the Fern and Flora Suite. It's so pretty. It's got the crisp cantaloupe flowers along with mossy meadow. They just pop out. Oh, it's so pretty. I can't wait to start showing those. So tomorrow will be our last day of Pooh cards for now. I'm not going to say I might not bring it out again because I just love that set. It's so much fun to play with. Okay, let's see. Did we pop this up? We did. So we're going to glue this down. I love this paper on the back too. It would make great background, except for if you used this background, you would miss all the scenes. You'd have to sacrifice using some of the scenes. And so I didn't want to do that. Need some large Stampin' Dimensionals. Maybe if I can get them off my finger. The July online exclusives have come out, and on my, either on my Nana's Stampin' Room blog or my Nana's Stampin' Room Facebook page, I have the PDF, so if you wanted to download it, that way you could just look at all the new items without, it's kind of easier to have a whole list of them than to go through the store, online store. Okay, so we're going to pick these off. We're going to put this on here. We're going to get our little jars here that we used the die to cut out, and I embossed them with clear embossing powder. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue behind them at the very bottom. Oh, look what I did. I grabbed my regular green glue instead of my other glue, which is what's in the container that I have in my glue press. Okay. And so now we're just going to need a little bit of dimensionals at the bottom here because it'll already be popped up a little bit by this. So we're going to put some little mini dimensionals on here. Well, we want to get it all the way on there. Take off the paper. Hopefully, take off the paper. And stick it down here. There we go. And then we have this happy birthday goes in this one. This happy birthday goes here. And as we see, again, I must have had some early espresso either on my block or on my hand. I am famous for getting these little marks. I don't even know how they get there. That's why I would be lost without my eraser. Okay, and this goes in here. Now, one last thing we have to do is, of course I use the bees on this. I'm almost out of bees, which makes me happy and sad at the same time. Sad I won't have them to use anymore, but happy that I have an empty container. So I'm just going to put 3 dots of glue. Let's see, we'll put one here. We'll put one here and one down here. I'm not going to put any on the actual seam because the bees would really be out here on the honeycomb. Now we all know I had the pick a tool, which got underneath the dimensionals, which I did not see at first. And so we're going to get a bee and put it here. And put one here. And these bees are pretty low profile, so I don't think that they'll make you have to pay extra postage because really they don't stick up much more than a dimensional does. And we could Stella. What should we Stella? We should probably Stella Pooh. And I don't know if you noticed, but Piglet is sitting, doesn't want to stick on this one side. I know, because I didn't take the paper off. I thought I had. Sometimes I don't know why the paper doesn't want to come off for me. It doesn't even want to come off with the pick a tool. It's like really stuck on there, so we're just going to put another one. And this one, for sure, the paper came off, because it already came off. Oh, today just must not be my day to do a video. It's going to tear it if I try to get it. There we go. Okay. Now hopefully this will stick down better. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Got it fixed. Now we can use our Stella. Okay, Stella. And I don't know if you noticed in this picture, but Piglet is sitting in this chair. You can kind of just see his little face there peeking over the arm of the chair. So we might put just a little bit of Wicked Stella on him. And if you really wanted to, I was just thinking this, I have my Bearly Blush Glimmer Pen, or Glimmer Brush. And so, since it's the same color as Pooh, I could kind of just add a little bit of extra color to him. I'd love these too. Okay, so there we go. Card number 2. So, this one, oh, this one came out much darker than this one, didn't it? But, you know, sometimes they don't always come out exactly the same. Just depends on how heavy-handed you are with the sponge dauber. And this one I'm going to change the label and add the ribbon that I have right here so I don't lose it. Thank you very much for joining me for day number 8 of my Silly Old Bear series. And tomorrow will be number 9, and I'll have 3 cards, and that'll be the end. And then next week we'll start on a new set with some new cards. Probably Fern and Flora, because that's the newest one I've gotten. Have a great day. Bye.